All right, thank you for tuning into another episode. Let's go ahead and get into a lot of stuff to talk about. So you see here, Browns are not expected to pursue a trade for Jimmy G. And I read a lot of places reported that they would be looking at Cam Newton. So I was prescient when I said this. My reasoning for them going after Cam Newton instead of a Jimmy Garoppolo, you see Jimmy Garoppolo base salary of $24.2 million. That's going to just be a non-starter for a lot of teams. So maybe the Niners keep him in hope that a team starter gets injured in training camp. But I think that's going to be a non-starter for a team like the Browns and other places like that. I think Cam works for the Browns because, one, again, you're going to be able to sign him to a minimum deal. Two, it's not a situation where Cam thinks that he's going to be there for more than a year and to delude himself in that. Three, he's a running quarterback, so he can help your run game. This is a team that wants to run the ball. And then obviously he's not going to come with the cap hit that Garoppolo does, and you don't have to trade any assets to get him. Jimmy G is not getting traded. I don't see how it happens. If you have Baker Mayfield that struggled to get traded, why would anyone trade for Jimmy G? That doesn't make any sense. He was a lesser player. And then you've heard people throw smut on his name. Edelman threw smut on his name, said the guy's not tough. He didn't want to play through injuries. I remember there was a game that he played with Jacoby Brissett, ironically started, and he didn't pass the ball at all. I think he had like 3 passing yards. It comes out in one of these, I think the Pivot podcast, that, we went through the whole day, and the day before the game, Jimmy G says he's not going to play. Jacoby Brissett is injured, and they just tough it out, figure out a game plan, they end up winning the game. I think that kind of soured a lot of people in New England on Jimmy G. I think that, I don't know, him doing that surgery when he did it, really, he ended up, doing it, in my opinion, because he was upset with the Niners. He ended up hurting himself because now, teams are not going to trade for you if you're not hurt. And now that he's ready and he's ready to go, all the teams are ready to go in their own directions. So he ended up screwing himself when, you try to fuck over the team, you fucked over yourself. I think Derek Carr said today that, no one's paying attention to the Raiders. The hell not. The Raiders, Devontae Adams, picking up Chandler Jones. A lot of people are looking for the Raiders as an upset team, especially with Tyreek Hill leaving the Chiefs. So I would agree to that. They're the first team. No one thinks anything of us. Yeah, I don't believe that to be true at all. They're the first team to come into camp. So shout out to them. 2023 is officially underway. So 22-23 season is officially underway. So, but to say no one thinks anything of them, I think that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, maybe you're trying to keep that chip on your shoulder, but you made the playoffs last year. You played, I believe they played the Bengals, and they played them tough, right? So you played the eventual AFC champion. So I wouldn't agree with that statement at all. But, maybe that's just the thing that he wants to motivate his guys, rally his guys. But I think you got to move past. If you're really trying to win, you got to move past this chip on the shoulder. No one's thinking of us. We're going to show the world what we can do. That's like, no one's thinking of us as like the team in the NCAA tournament. That's the 14th seed that thinks they're going to upset the 3. That's the type of talk you use. The Raiders, realistically, if things line up right, it wouldn't surprise anybody, I don't think, if they got to the Super Bowl. The AFC is just stacked. It's phase everywhere. So I think they need to be talking about more like that. It's Super Bowl bust. Forget what, who's thinking about us, who's not. Bengals trying to sell name rights of Paul Brown Stadium. That's interesting. What's funny is they've never sold the rights to their stadium because Paul Brown is like, the owner of the Browns' dad is Paul Brown. So he's always kept it at Paul Brown Stadium, and other teams in the league have been upset with him because they haven't got any money. And even though they're dipping into the revenue sharing like everyone else, they're not selling the name and rights of their stadium like everyone else. But now they need nearly $500 million in the renovations. And looks like they're going to finally change their tune on that. The Bengals owner is notoriously cheap, notoriously bad facility. So, hopefully he changes his way. His daughter was in on the Hard Knocks that I saw. She does the deals as far as the cap wise. So I don't know. It's interesting that they finally bite the bullet on that. But I think what happened is that they need these renovations, and you can't go to the state for money. So we'll see. California governor asks UCLA to explain how Pac-12 for Big Ten is beneficial. There was a study that came out that said UCLA over 3 years, I thought I would see it here. UCLA $100 million deficit. Said the shortfall also reveals 7 unique challenges that have saddled UCLA with the 3-year deficit of $102 million. That's why we're leaving. Fam, here. UCLA posts a record $62.5 million in athletic debt. This is a quick thing to explain to them. We don't have the money. The Pac-12 is losing us money. We can make more money with the Big 12. End of story. I like Gavin Newsom, but I think there's probably better things that he can do with his time than, get in the middle of this. If this number is true, this is an open and shut case. There's nothing to talk about. If they're losing $102 million on their athletic department, there's nothing less to talk about then. There's nothing less to talk about. We need the money. We can't be dipping in funds from other things when there is a agency out there, a conference out there that's willing to pay us, and we don't have this problem. So, I once again, I like Gavin Newsom, but I mean, come on. We got other things. We got other things going on, baby. Harden signs us 2 years, $68.6 million deal. I mean, my man. I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised that he would do that. I'm surprised that he ended up really taking, the shorter deal and, opting in. But like I said, he's made boatload of money at $200 million from Adidas. So it's not really surprising that he says, what I can really do to stamp my legacy is win a couple titles. That could change the narrative on me. I'm sure he saw, the narrative change on Steph Curry a little bit. Steph Curry's at the ESPYs right now drinking and hosting and just talking trash and, let me talk my shit for the first 5 minutes, and good for him. But I'm sure a lot of players in the league looked around and saw that and said, man, that's what a title could do for you, a commanding performance in the finals. So let me go ahead and change my narrative. There was a rumor today that the Lakers have re-engaged the Pacers on trade talks centered around Buddy Hield. There is no traction in a deal to bring Kyrie Irving in. They said they're not going to do Kyrie before they do Durant, and Durant noise is dead. Maybe this is a move to kind of push them in the right direction. To me, Buddy Hield isn't changing your life at all. I mean, he's a better shooter, but he's not changing the facts on the ground. And if you trade him away, then who's playing your point guard position? I've always thought that THT was a better suited player at the point guard position, but that's asking a lot his first go round, is to be a good enough point guard that we can fight the Jaws, we can fight the Stephs, we can fight the Luka Doncic, and so on and so on. That's a lot to ask. So I don't know. I think the Lakers should hold it out. Like, doesn't look like Buddy Hield is going anywhere anytime soon. You can, pull that plug if training camp starts and KD and Kyrie are still on the team. Then you can start to think about, hey, maybe we should make this deal, and this is the best deal for us. So we'll see. And I want to touch on something real quick in the football section before we get out of here. So I finally got some clarity on the Deshaun Watson situation, because I was always under the impression that the commissioner has a final say. So what is this, Judge Sue Robinson? So what happens is, I guess the players and the owners, the players at the players' behest, the players said, we want someone independent in the situation. We want someone independent. And the owners were like, okay, cool. it starts off with the independent arbiter, right? This Sue Johnson lady, and Sue Robertson, excuse me. And then after her, then Goodell can appeal it. And he is the final arbiter on this. So pretty much this is a waste of time. So anytime you hear that it's not going to be a year, it's looking like more than 2 to 8 games, that's what she says. But she doesn't have the final authority. Goodell has the final authority. And I don't think Goodell really cares if you sue him and you take him to court. You know, Tom Brady took them to court. They didn't care. I think, and Tom Brady had a far stronger case. What I think is going to happen here is he's going to get the full year, like I've said. And the more I think about it, I think that's almost a certainty, because at least from Goodell, who knows what the judge is going to do, right? Because, you know, I think a big impetus the last time he gave out a harsh sentence, Tom Brady, that people, you know, that is where people went to court to fight it. Excuse me. That was a situation where the owners wanted him to punish him. They were tired of the Patriots, tired of their shenanigans. The owners wanted him punished. And I think a couple owners have probably called Goodell like, listen, man, we've gotten so much bad press. We don't need the bad press of this guy playing. We don't need it this year. Add to the fact that the owner of the Browns gave him a guaranteed contract, which is probably given the owner's headache in their negotiation with their top players. I'm sure the owners is like, man, throw the book at him. Suspend him for a year, and not just a year. He has to reapply next year. Throw the book at them. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going, whatever this judge says, that's fine. I think Goodell's going to go through his process and suspend him. Year. So, but I finally got some clarity because I didn't understand who's this independent judge. I thought Goodell had final say. And then, you know, it's messed up. You would think in the order, if the players union wanted this, they would go Goodell, then the independent person to do the appeal. Having the independent person underneath Goodell defeats the whole purpose. It's pretty much like, you know, putting lipstick on a pig. And you know, people have talked about the NFL union being weak, and this is like a useless move. This is a waste of time. Goodell's going to give him what he wants. This is wasting everybody's time. It's just taxable hours for their attorneys. So, all right, I'll go ahead and leave it here. Since the camps have started, I got to go ahead and bang these things out real quick. I'm going to drop something a little bit today. My guy let me know about this college football thing that I saw. You know, a lot of people are clutching their pearls with this college football stuff. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. So, you know, I need to restore order on that. So, all right, I'll leave it there. Game is again. All right. Thank you for watching this clip. Do me a favor. Push the button. Hit subscribe. Come on, man. Push it.
Call everybody up.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
You heard what she said.
Man, do what's right. You heard her. Push the button. The game is again.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, you know? The game is a game. Always.